Jack, are you there? I was just wondering what time you were thinking of coming home tonight.
I still don't know what time I'm gonna be able to make it back, actually, but if it's getting to be too late, then you should go to sleep before me.
You mean that you think you'll probably be working pretty late again today, then?
I don't really have choice in the matter either way. I mean, I have a job, I have to work.
I know, but I just feel like you've been coming home later and later lately. And ever since we had little Fiona, it's like you've hardly even been home at all.
Well, it's not like I don't wish that I could be home with you guys. It's just that I've been really busy with work lately.
But your company literally makes products for babies. You'd think they would be a little more understanding and give you some time off now that you're a father.
Well, I'm sure that my office would see things that way if I were a woman, but they don't give those kind of breaks to the men.
I see. Well, still, if it's possible, I would really like for you to try and come home just a little earlier. Ever since I got home from the hospital with Fiona, I just feel like I haven't gotten to get any sleep at all. I just really need your help with the baby, and that's why I want you home earlier.
And I get that, I really, really do, but I have this overtime that isn't going to do itself, and I have to stay until it's complete.
I know that you have your overtime, but I just feel like you were able to come home earlier before I had a kid is all.
Well, then, let's just chalk all of this up to bad timing on our part, okay? But the truth is that I really am busy here at work. You don't think that I don't feel bad leaving you and Fiona all alone at home and not being able to help out any around the house? Besides, you need to start carrying a bit more of your weight around the house anyways. I mean, sometimes I feel like you barely put any effort into making me breakfast and packing my lunch. I know that you're really busy with the kid and all, but it's not like you shouldn't have time to still be a good wife to me.
Jack, have you even read a single message that I've sent to you? I don't have any time to myself at all, and I'm never running on more than 4 hours of sleep if I'm lucky. Besides, it's not like I can just nap whenever I want while you're gone. Fiona is always keeping me up.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is that you get to stay home all day with the baby while I have to go out and work for a living. So maybe you could try seeing things from my perspective too, okay?
Jack, are you being serious right now? All I'm doing is asking for a little help around the house is all. Besides, Fiona is your child too. You understand that we both have to take care of her, right?
Of course I understand that, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna just let you dump all of the work of doing that onto me. I mean, she's not even a month old. How much crying can something her age really even do?
Jack, you're not getting it. I literally haven't even gotten to recover from when I had her.
Well, okay then. Just have a juice or some kind of smoothie or something and you'll be just fine. Just eat some vitamins or something, you know?
Jack, I know that you can't be serious about that, right?
I'm only suggesting what any logical person would suggest to you. Why are you always trying to argue with me over every little thing?
I just need to spend a little more time with Fiona so that I can catch up on all my rest is all. Even just the weekend would help me out enormously. I'm just asking you for this one small thing.
Okay, I get what you're saying here. Your plan is to have me work every day of the week just so I can spend my weekends at home with the kid?
That's not what I'm saying at all. Why are you being like this to me?
Why are you being like this to me, Mary? I mean, when am I supposed to get any rest of my own if I do that?
But that's what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like I get any rest as things are right now.
You can't say that. You literally spend all day at home. Do you really think that you have a tougher time taking care of a little kid than I do working in the office?
I don't know why you have to try and compare the two. They're just different kinds of work.
I can't believe that it's already gotten this late. Look, I'm probably not going to need dinner tonight, but you better make me something good for breakfast tomorrow. I really am getting sick of just buttered toast. You really need to step your game up.
Hey, Jack, are you there? I was just wondering if I could ask you to watch over Fiona today.
No, that isn't gonna happen. I really don't feel like being stuck indoors all day. In fact, the whole reason I don't want to be at home is because of that little brat. I mean, really, why did you have to change her diaper at the table while I was eating? Do you have any idea how nasty that is?
What are you talking about, Jack? I took Fiona into the other room to change her like I always do.
Okay, well, I could still see it from the corner of my eye because you left the door open. Honestly, what in the world were you thinking doing it like that? Do you have any idea how much that little brat stunk up the place? I completely lost all of my appetite right then and there.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, Jack. I want you to know that that wasn't what I was trying to do by doing that at all.
Well, I'm just getting sick of this. I feel like it happens more and more, and you don't care at all about even trying to maintain any decorum around the house anymore. Not only that, but man, can that kid just really cry. Is it normal for girls her age to cry like that? It's just really non-stop.
Well, I think she just cries when she's frustrated or hungry or tired. It's the only way she knows how to communicate.
I really don't think that it's normal for a baby to be crying like that at all. I mean, I know friends with babies and they're not crying all the time like Fiona is. Typically, they're just asleep or staring off into space thinking of whatever it is babies think of.
I know your friends who have babies, and they're already a fair bit older than Fiona is, aren't they? Besides, you're not at home all of the time, and you miss when Fiona is just a quiet and happy baby. You really barely even know your infant daughter at all when you think about it.
I really don't know about this. I mean, are we sure that there's nothing wrong with the girl? Like, mentally, that is? Like, do we think she might have a defect?
I can't believe that you're even asking that, Jack. What has gotten into you? How could you say that?
I'm just saying that I don't think it's normal for a baby to be crying while I'm leaving for work and still be crying when I get home is all. I don't know what's going on, but that little thing is keeping me up all night, and you need to do something about it. Are you really telling me you think that's normal behavior?
I think that all parents feel this kind of frustration with their babies. But I think that we just have to get through this phase and wait for Fiona to grow up a little.
You don't know what you're talking about at all. I was talking to my mom about this, and she said that I never, ever used to cry as a child. Even when she would take me to the doctor, she said I wouldn't. And maybe that's what we should do. We need to take Fiona to a doctor. I think we need to have her examined so that we can find a way to make her stop crying so much.
Jack, please, this is a newborn that we're talking about. She's not even 6 months old. It is literally just that she has no other tools except her crying and screaming to try and express what she wants.
Well, I think that sounds like a problem with the baby. It needs to learn that you can't just demand things by crying all the time. I mean, do you really think that you've been a good mother letting your baby cry like this all of the time? You really don't think that you're not doing enough?
How could you say that about me? Why are you always trying to spin this around on me? I am doing my best, and it's still just never enough for you.
Well, you could try your best all you want, but if it's not showing any results, then I really don't see the point at all. And ever since we had that baby, the house has just become a huge mess. I mean, really, what do you even do at home all day? The least you could do is try and pick up after yourself if you're not going to do anything about Fiona's crying.
That's just how difficult it is to raise a child all by yourself when you're never, ever at home. You think I don't realize just how messy our place has gotten? Of course I have. I just don't have the time or energy to do anything about it.
Well, then it sounds to me like you're the one who needs to do better around here. I mean, how much trouble can a little baby even get in that you can't do anything else? If you can't make the baby stop crying and you can't keep the house clean and you can't cook well for me, then what's even the point of you?
I don't understand how you can say that. I'm trying to tell you about how difficult it is, and it's like you don't even want to hear the truth.
What I want to hear is you stop coming up with excuses and start to actually take care of our daughter. I'm the one who goes to work, you're the one who takes care of the kids. It's that simple. But if you can't even do any of that, then why should I bother going to work to take care of you both?
Please, Jack, you know that I think you do plenty for us. It's not like I don't know how hard you work.
Well, I really don't think that you do understand at all, actually. And I think that if you did understand, then you'd show your gratitude by doing a better job around the house.
I get that you think child rearing isn't a real job compared to the work you do, but it is.
Man, You are really just so obnoxious, do you know that? Look, the point is just don't ever change her diapers near me again, do you understand? And especially not while I'm eating. And quit doing it in our bedroom as well. I hate walking into where I'm gonna sleep and having it smell like that.
So you want me to try and figure out how to do it in the bedroom? Or should I just do it in the sink?
Honestly, you shouldn't even be doing it while I'm in the house at all. You understand me?
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious about that. I shouldn't change our baby's diapers while you're in the house?
I mean, it's not like I'm even at home all that much. You can just change it all you want while I'm away and then wait a little bit while I'm at home.
Jack, not only is that just disgusting to even suggest, it's also just unsanitary for our baby. Besides, do you really think that our daughter wants to just be sitting in her own mess for hours at a time?
I think that she's a baby and she really doesn't know what the difference would even be and won't even remember it growing up.
And that's all that matters? As long as she doesn't remember how we treated her, we can do whatever? I'm sorry, but that is not how I am going to raise my daughter, and that is final.
How dare you talk back to me like that when you can't even figure out how to make that baby stop crying? Just remember that I'm the one who puts this roof over your head and you're only able to stay at home all day taking care of that kid because of me. Hello, Mr. Todd. I was just messaging because I saw that I had some missed calls from you. Did you want to speak to me about something? Was there some kind of mistake that you needed me to address? I just want to know one thing, Jack. Where are you right now? Well, I was actually just about to hop in the shower for a little bit, but I have time to talk. I see. Well, I'm so sorry to interrupt your leisure time, but I'm afraid I need you to come into the office right away. You want me to go back to work right now, boss? I'm sorry, did I do something wrong? Is this something that I can only do at the office? It's just that it's already pretty late at night here, and I was kinda hoping to go to bed soon. Are you sure this can't wait until tomorrow? No, this is an emergency, and I need you here at the office right now. I know about how you kicked your wife and child out of your own home. In fact, that's actually exactly what I want to talk to you about. I just wanted to let you know that the company president is furious at you. Wait a second, the company president is the one who's wanting to speak to me because he's upset? I'm sorry, I'm just really a little bit confused right now. What are you talking about? What's going on right now? That's actually exactly what all of us here at the office want to know right now. The company president is asking just why he ran into your wife and child on the street. He agreed to take them in for the time being, but he wants to know why your wife was walking outside without a coat or even her phone on her. What do you have to say for yourself? What makes you think any of this is right? Wait, no, you don't understand. You see, the thing is that my wife and I got into a little fight is all. It was nothing serious, though. You mean that you got into a fight with your wife and your solution was to throw her and your child out of there? Do you have any idea just how cold it is outside right now? Your wife tells us that this baby isn't even all that old. She says that she had her less than a month ago. Is that really true, Jack? Yes, you're right. I shouldn't have reacted the way that I did, and it really was just a momentary lapse of judgment that I regret horribly. So then you admit that you've done something awful by throwing your wife and kid out like this, right? And yet when I text you asking about where you are, you're not even out looking for them? You just wanted to have a shower and go to bed instead? You're right. I really don't know what I was thinking at all. Thank you so much for helping me realize what a fool I've been this entire time. I really didn't realize how bad my actions were until now. Let's get something straight. You work at a company that makes goods for new mothers and babies. You realize that, right? Don't you think that it should have crossed your mind once to think about things from your wife's perspective? Did you even spend a second trying to empathize with what it is that your wife might be going through right now? I really am so sorry about all of this. I never meant to cause my wife any trouble or pain, and I certainly didn't want to get you or the company president involved in this either. Well, it's all a bit too late for that now because the company president wants to have a word with you, so you better get down to the office right this moment. Of course, I'll be right there. Let me just change and get into my car, and I should be there soon, okay? And I just want you to know that there will be consequences for what you've done and how you've treated your family. If this got out, it could have really hurt our corporate image, and for that you are going to be punished. Mary, don't you think it's finally time that you come on home? I mean, you've already been away for a whole week and haven't even let me see Fiona once that whole time. Do you really think it's fair for you to do this to me? She's my daughter too, you know. You can't just keep her from me like this.
I already told you that I am never, ever going to be coming back to that house again.
I know, but it's already been a week since you said that. Don't you think that you're just being a little cruel with all of this right now? Can't we just talk this all out like adults?
Nothing you can say is ever going to change my mind about this. I tried talking to you about all that was frustrating me, and you refused to listen.
I know, and I really am so sorry about that, but I just couldn't understand what you were trying to tell me. I'm sorry that I wasn't more understanding for what you were going through. But I want you to know that I talked a lot with my boss about all of this, and since then I've been able to learn a lot about what it's like to be a new parent and take care of a child on your own. I think that I'm finally starting to understand just how difficult the things I was putting you through really were.
Well, I am just so happy that you went to 1 or 2 little seminars and now you think you know what it is that I've been going through. But don't you think it's just a little funny that you wouldn't take my word for it? You had to have your own male boss sit you down and explain to you how hard I have it.
Mary, please, why are you being like this? I'm only trying to tell you where I was approaching this from. There's no need to talk to me like that. I promise that from here on out, I'm going to be helping you a lot more.
Help me? You're going to help me? Did you even learn anything at all from any of the whatever classes you went to? You're not going to help me with anything. We are parents. We're supposed to be doing this together as equals.
Oh, come on, you know what I meant. You don't have to be so pedantic about all of this. So I used the wrong words. The meaning is still there. You know it is.
I know that after I had our daughter, you spent more and more time out of the house and left taking care of her to me. I know that you complained any time you were home about any of the normal baby things that Fiona would do, and you even wanted to have her checked by a doctor. You never spent any time raising our daughter with me, and yet you had the gall to try and tell me what I was doing right and wrong. And on top of all that, you even told me that I shouldn't even change her diapers while you were at home. Honestly, I want some of whatever you were on while you thought that was okay to say to me.
Mary, I really am so sorry about this. I want you to know how honest I am about that. I really am so sorry. I never wanted things to go this far.
But that's not even all that you did. You lied to me about all of the overtime that you said you were away from home to do. I know that your work offers you paternity leave, but that you didn't bother taking it because you didn't even want to be around Fiona and I after she was born. And I know that instead, after you got off work at your usual time, you would just go out drinking or doing who knows what until late into the night. Do you really think that I would ever, in a million years, forgive you for all that you put me through? The way that you lied to me?
Please, Mary, just try and think about it from my perspective. I'm so tired from work and then to have to go home and take care of a child.
Then why didn't you just take the paternity leave that your job offers you? It was there for you to take with no issues at all.
I didn't want the guys to think that I was some kind of wimp for wanting to take the leave to be with my wife and kid and all.
Please tell me that that high school-ass reason is not the actual reason why you didn't take the time off that your job literally gives you for free. Are you really trying to tell me that the reason you weren't home helping me raise our child is because you were trying to look cool for some people from your work? Well, at least now I know that I won't ever regret the divorce that you and I are going to be getting.
Wait a second, a divorce? What do you mean? You're not really going to leave me, are you? I don't want you to leave me.
Oh, really? Because you were more than happy to be out of the house and avoid your family while I was doing all of the work? Why do you want to keep your family together if you don't even want to spend any time with them in the first place?
Please, you have to know how happy I was when you had Fiona. It was the happiest day of my life.
Oh, really? Because if that were true, then I think you might have been able to put just a little bit of work into being a father for her. But you never even raised a finger to do anything for Fiona at all. Did you think that being a father was just being there for the happy moments, the exciting moments, the quiet moments? Is that what you thought fatherhood was going to be like?
Please, you know how busy I've been with work. Of course I know there would be harder times, but I just am so tired after coming home.
And I have barely gotten a wink of sleep at all since I came home from the hospital with our daughter. You never cared once about either of us. You just put all the housework and child rearing and cooking and cleaning and laundry and budgeting and everything onto me. Well, I hope you're happy, because all of this happening right now is a direct result of the way that you've been treating me. Got it?
But, I thought that you'd be fine taking care of the kid.
Are you illiterate? Are you blind? Are you just not reading what I sent to you? You know, I can't do this anymore. If you're just going to beg me to take you back, then I'll tell you that you aren't going to hear from me again until my lawyer decides to contact you about the divorce details. Until then, I don't want to have to hear from you, think about you, or deal with you at all. After that, I was referred to a divorce lawyer by Mr. Todd, Jack's supervisor, who I had been in contact with since getting picked up by the company president on the night that Jack threw Fiona and I out. I was glad that I was able to end things with Jack and take full custody of my daughter, but I can never forget the hardship he put me through. After the divorce and splitting our assets, I sued Jack for endangering our child and forced him to pay a hefty sum, which I used to move Fiona and I closer to my parents with. The last thing I heard about Jack was that he was so ashamed of all the rumors flying around about him at work that he ended up quitting in disgrace. I don't know what happened to him after that, but good riddance, I say. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Nate, I just got to the house.
Oh, you got there pretty quickly. I'm still on my way walking back to the house right now. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to bring you over or anything.
No worries. It was a lot easier for me to take the bus anyway. So you wouldn't have had to take me all the way over on your own. Also, tomorrow you have a business trip, right?
Well, I don't really want to go on that trip for work, especially since we are going to be married here in another month or so. I guess my company doesn't really care about my personal life.
Nate told you before we even planned on getting married that you'd have this trip, right? Just be happy that everything between both our parents went well when we had everyone talk about the marriage. And today, being able to find a really nice place for us to move into after we got married takes a whole lot of stress off our backs, right?
I really hope that we were able to pass the application for the place and get it. I do feel as though the rent on the place can be a little high.
Well, there's no need to really worry about that. You and I are both working, so we have the money for it. And even after having a baby, I'm not planning on quitting my job over it. And even if one of us does end up leaving our jobs, the rent isn't high enough where we can't pay it.
But having only one of us working would make it so hard to pay for things. But the two of us do have a lot in our savings, so I think that will be okay.
That's right. And also, this place is the kind of house we've both been wishing for, right? The door is watched by a security camera, and we're even able to have pets in it. And even if those two things don't sell it for you, the place is really close to all the other forms of transit in town, like the bus and subway. So having the rent be a little bit higher for all that makes this place a steal.
You have a good point. It's rare these days to find places that allow you to have pets for that cheap. Sorry about that. I was the one that wants a cat after we get married, so we'll definitely be paying a bit more for that.
No worries. I also want us to get a cat, so it's all good. But I'm a bit surprised by you wanting a cat. I mean, you've had dogs all your life, right? Why would you rather have a cat over a dog?
Well, I've just seen one of my friend's cats online a lot, and seeing it all the time has made me kind of learn to really love and want one.
I suppose seeing your friend's cute cat all the time would do that to someone. Having an animal at home is something really amazing, right?
That's right. Being able to call them over at any time and they just come right up to you, or just the fact that they look so darn cute doing their own thing. I can't wait to have a cat of our own.
If we're able to sign the contract and everything smoothly, you're fine with both of us moving out of our places as soon as possible, right?
Yeah, that should be fine. Once I get an okay from the realtor on the place, I'm going to get all my things packed and ready to go. And I'll make sure to let you know as well.
All right. Well, while you're out on your business trip, I'll start working small amounts of time on getting my things together, and I can even do the same for you if you want. I have the chance to help you out since you'll be out of town for a bit.
Well, I can handle most of my things when I'm back in town.
But you have lots of things to take over, right? So when I finish all my packing, I'll come over and help.
No, you really don't have to.
But you happen to have a pretty messy place normally, so why can't I come over and just tidy it up a bit? I don't really care that it's that messy, but
I'd really only like you there when it's looking nice. So you can wait to help me after I get back. I don't want you cleaning up after me even before we get married.
before I could believe that you'd end up cleaning your place out before because it was clean there.
And that's because before I really did put a lot of effort into it. But right now, I've left the place a real mess.
Well, just promise me that when we get to our new place together, you don't leave it messy all the time.
I won't. I'll have you around the house then, and won't want to turn you off. Ah, crap. I still haven't cleaned the suit that I plan to bring with me on the trip tomorrow.
Huh? Are you gonna be okay?
I'll toss it in the washer and then it'll dry after. It's going to be thrown in with my other clothes anyway tomorrow, so I don't need to wear it just yet.
We really have been all over the place now after deciding on the day we get married. And this trip is gonna be a week or so, right?
Yep. I'll be back during the middle of next week or so. When I'm back in town, I'll come over to your place.
Sounds good. Have a good trip tomorrow, and I hope everything goes well for you. I'll get in touch with you again tomorrow.
Alright. I'll send you a message when I'm on my way out to town as well. See you later.
Nate, how have you been feeling?
I'm doing a lot better now, Carrie. I'm even able to get back into the office today. Sorry that I wasn't able to come over yesterday.
No worries about that, it's fine. After getting back from the business trip, we've had to get ready for the move, right? I'm sure you haven't been feeling well now because you've gotten pretty exhausted, right?
I think that's what happened. When I get out of work today, I'm going to go straight back home to rest some more again.
That's a good idea. Are you alright on food and things like that? I can make you something simple and bring it over for you.
No, don't worry about that. You're a pretty busy woman right now, so I don't need you coming over here to care for me. And right now, the whole house is a bit messy, with all the boxes and stuff towered around waiting for the move. I'm going to stop by the gas station and grab some food, and then after eating, go right to bed.
Do you think you're going to be alright in 3 days when we have to go to the courthouse and file our marriage? You said you'd take the day off work for that, but, well, yesterday you had the day off work, and so I'm not sure they'll still let you have a day off for that.
You have a good point there. I told you before that I'd get the day off by using some of my PTO, but until that day, I'm going to have to get a lot of work done at the office and probably won't be able to see.
I see. Well then, how about I just stop over and get your signature and I'll run to the courthouse myself? And then I'll have your parents or my parents there as a witness to it.
Sure, that sounds a lot better.
By the way, Nate, I have something I kind of want to ask you, but it's a little bit out of nowhere.
What is it?
Did something happen to you? Ever since you came back from that business trip, you've been a bit strange.
What's been strange about me? Did I say something wrong?
Up until now, you've always been talking to me every day, but recently, if I don't send you a text, you won't say anything to me.
Well, I just haven't been feeling well enough to think about texting, nor have I really had the time to. So calling that strange of me is a bit... Well, I just don't like you calling something like that strange is all.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking a little bit about all of that, and I didn't know if you were aware of it as well.
Are you starting to rethink the two of us getting married or something? You have always been so excited to be with me, so it's a bit unnatural of you. Maybe this is what all of women are like?
That's not it. The other day you said you'd come over to see me, but instead you canceled those plans to go out drinking, right? You told me you were busy with work, and that's why you couldn't come, but...
Huh?
Well, I heard from a friend of mine that they saw you while they were out. And since then, you've been a bit off.
Ah, sorry about that. One of my friends from school is getting married and asked me to go out for some drinks with him beforehand. So I lied to you saying I was busy with work.
Well, then why didn't you just tell me that? Why would you lie about something so simple?
Well, I was going out with another woman drinking, and I didn't want to worry you by saying that what was really going on. Especially since we are so close to being married.
I'm more shocked by the fact that you hid all of that from me. From now on, I want you to tell me the truth, always.
I'm sorry, Carrie. I'll make sure that from now on I tell you everything, and the truth.
Please.
Has this made you rethink the two of us getting married in any way?
No, that's not happening. I just thought it would have been better if you had told me the truth about not meeting up with me. You're the one not feeling well right now, so I shouldn't have stressed you out about that just then. Sorry. I hope that's the case.
No problem. I got you all worked up over it, so that's my bad. But it won't be too much longer before you and I are living together forever. So when that starts, we won't have to feel worried about one another ever again.
I hope that's the case. Remember that you're not feeling 100% yet, so don't overdo anything. And if you need anything from me, just give me a call or a text.
Will do. Well, I'm getting back to work now. Good luck with your work, Carrie.
Nate, I'm sorry for trying to get a hold of you so many times, but I'm seriously worried about you. It's been 8 whole hours now since the two of us were supposed to meet. And I'd like it if you could at least send me something so that I know that you're safe or not. We can set up another day to do all this marriage paperwork. And if you have anything to say to me about the marriage, I'll listen to you. You don't even have to say anything to me about it. Tell your mom or your dad, just please send us something so that we know you're alive.
Carrie, I'm so sorry that I'm this late getting back to you.
What, Nate?
You must have really been worried about me, huh? You never heard from me for a whole month there.
Well, yeah.
I had a lot go on all at once, and that's why I wasn't able to reply to you. I'm sorry about the day we were supposed to get married. I got into an accident, and that day turned into weeks, and then a month. I lost memory of a lot of things, including you back then.
You were in an accident?
I was on my way to your place, but then something happened to me and I had to be put in the hospital. I could have never imagined I'd get into an accident on the day we were supposed to go to the courthouse. At the time, I didn't even know what happened to me, and I couldn't figure out what to do next.
Is that so?
But I've finally been able to remember everything, and that's why you were the first person I contacted today. I'm so sorry for making you wait. Now that I'm back, let's go get all of our things together and hand in our paperwork to the courthouse.
You really had to think about how to phrase that one, didn't you?
Huh?
I'm not going to the courthouse with you.
Why not?
You're asking me why, yet you're the one that should understand why the most, right? And this will only be the beginning of your hell, so don't you dare forget about today.
Carrie, have you forgotten about the love you had for me and no longer want me? I'm so sorry for not being able to be with you on the day we should have gotten to the courthouse and gotten married, but it's not like I chose not to go with you that day. I had that accident and everything. You understand what I'm saying, right?
You're lying about having forgotten about everything at the time due to memory loss, right?
I can understand why you think I might be lying, but it's true.
Then what hospital did you end up being admitted to?
Where was it again? I was only there for like a few days, so I just had to go in and get my injuries looked after, and then they let me loose.
You weren't talking with me for a month, though. So what was going on after you had left the hospital?
Well, the person that hit me with their car was very nice to me, and so for a little while, I was cared for by them at their house.
You had your wallet with you and everything, right? I'm sure that person knew who you were the moment they hit you and looked at your ID.
I ended up losing my wallet at the scene of the accident.
But you still had your smartphone on you, right?
I didn't remember my password at the time. I really don't remember all that went down back then because it's all a bit foggy still in my mind. So I really have no idea what's going on after the accident had happened.
Oh, is that right? So you must have been hit real hard in the head to have zero memory of what happened on the day you got into that accident and the events after.
Stop acting like I'm making this up, okay? The moment I got my memory back of who I was and what I was doing, I made this text to you, right? After looking at all the calls and texts from you, I can only imagine the fear and worry you had thinking about what happened to me. I understand that the pain all this has caused to you was the worst thing you've ever felt. But please, trust what I'm saying.
What you had done is not something I'm going to forgive, Nate.
What? Hold on a second. I just got back to my house and it seems that my key isn't opening the door for me.
Ah, well, your parents happened to take care of that place for you.
Huh? What do you mean? Why?
Well, that's because you ended up going out with another woman and left me for nothing, right? I know about everything you've been up to since the day you stopped talking to me. That's why I said what I said. You're about to experience hell from now on.
You think I cheated on you? Why would you think something like that? I told you all that happened was I was in an accident and for about a month I couldn't message you.
You really think a lie like that is gonna fly? When you stopped talking to me or replying to anything we sent you, your parents and I went everywhere looking and checking to see if you were okay. We thought that there was a chance you were in an accident, and that's why we called the police and searched all the hospitals around. But we were never able to find you anywhere, so that crap about you being in an accident was all a lie.
No, I'm being serious about getting into an accident. I didn't even know my own name at the time, so that's why you were never able to find me.
And the police helped us by going out searching for people that might have ended up that way.
How many people do you think there are in this state that end up having memory loss and all of that? There's no way the police were able to search through everyone.
Well, it didn't take them all too long, since there were only 35 in the state at the time.
Well, they might have missed me or something, right? Why can't you just believe what I'm telling you? You think that because I never came in on the day of our courthouse visit and never contacted you that I was actually out cheating? That's so mean of you, Carrie. I'm coming back from a horrible accident asking to marry you, and this is how you're going to treat me?
Then who's this Lily that works at a strip club? I bet you're wondering why I know about her, right? Well, the police allowed me to get a detective to search for you, and they spend days going through all the messages the two of you sent over the internet. You happen to follow her on a lot of social media, right? You've liked a bunch of her photos and videos, and even made comments on all her posts. She even happens to have a cat. How funny is that? You told me you wanted to get a cat after we got married, right? Maybe this Lily is the reason for that.
Hold on for a minute. I'm kind of surprised you'd make an accusation like that just from the things you've seen on social media.
Oh, please, Nate, are you an idiot or something? I'm not making an accusation like this because of all that. Those posts that you liked of hers and all the comments and messaging with her are just the start. When you happen to get into that accident and say that you don't remember anything, that was the time Lily quit her job at the strip club because she said she was going to marry you, right?
I'm not sure about that.
Well, she's back working there now. That's because she ended things with you, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'd like you to stop thinking I've had anything to do with her just based off of that.
You're gonna keep this up, Nate. Well, the detective went out and got a few pictures of you going over to Lily's house with her. What do you make of that? Everybody knows that you were cheating on me, and there's no way of hiding it now. So that's why I'm not getting married to you now. What the hell is this about getting into an accident and losing your memory?
But I told you already that I did lose my memory.
No, you just left me for her, and when marrying her failed, you came right back to me, right? I'll let you know that for the time being, your parents will be paying the settlement that I've asked for from you in your place. But once you're back around them, I'd like for you to pay them back for all the money they've given me.
You think I actually broke things off with you right before we were supposed to get married?
I'm right about it though, right? You left me on the day we were supposed to go to the courthouse and file our marriage and then cheated on me.
Wait, I really have learned that you're the woman that I truly love, Carrie. So I left Lily and came back for you.
Is that what happened? Well, that doesn't make me any more happy. You should have just married that woman.
Well, that chick could not cook to save her life, nor could she get the chores done. And she really loved using my money up. I gave up my job and my family for her. Because she told me that everyone would celebrate us getting married and give me tons of money for it.
Really? Well, I don't give a crap. Sucks to be you.
And that's when I learned that you really are the one I care about. I can't be with some money-burning, shameful woman like her when I have you around to love. You're even good at doing chores and cooking, right? And that's why I felt that you really are the one for me. and then I need to marry you. I'm sorry for not showing on that day, but I've learned that you're the one that I love, so you don't have to worry anymore.
Have you listened to a word I've said? I told you that I don't want to marry you anymore. You think I'm that pathetic where I'd marry someone who left me right before we got married to be with a stripper? You can see me as that much of a brainless idiot?
You and I were doing so well before.
We sure were, right? But you went ahead and cheated on me and ruined everything we had built together. So now you're gonna be responsible for what you've done, please. And as for your things, they're all at that new house waiting for you.
Huh? You sent it all to the new house?
And the rent has been paid for using your money from your bank account, so if you'd like to move into it now, you'd better hurry up.
You didn't end up canceling the contract signed on that place?
I didn't.
I wasn't even around, so why did you leave me as the one renting it?
Well, that's because we learned about how you were cheating on me. And since you were the one paying for the place, I just assumed that when you saw the first month's rent being taken, you'd give the realtor a call about it and cancel your contract. I had wanted to ask about what we should do with your place, and your parents ended up making the final choice. I'm shocked to see after a month of never talking to me has passed, you're back to even asking me to marry you.
That's messed up. And now I've got to pay my parents back for a settlement they paid to you?
Yep. They had to pay for me to find a new place to live and pay for me having to hire a moving team to do the work for me. So that's part of the settlement, as well as the part for cheating on me while we were engaged. All of that together was around $50,000.
Huh? $50,000?
You had $30,000 in savings, didn't you? You can hand that to them right now, and for the next few months, you'll have to pay that remaining $20,000 to the both of them.
Hold on a moment. I have to pay for that new place rent as well. And for the past month, I haven't been working any. If anything, they've already fired me for not showing up to work.
I don't care. You're the one that chose to cheat on me, right?
Carrie, where are you right now? Allow me to meet you once. I have a lot I want to talk about in person with you. Allow me to apologize to you in person for what happened today.
There's no need for that. I'm actually quite happy that I never got married to you. I could already tell by the way you were acting the day before we were supposed to go to the courthouse that you had something else you were hiding from me, right?
You've got that all wrong. I was really confused on what to do that day. I'm sorry, but I just happened to be a very indecisive person at times.
Well, I'm not the kind of person who has time for indecisiveness, especially when it involves you cheating on me and ghosting me for a month. You're only back here now because things with her didn't work out. How much farther are you going to try to take this, Nate? Do you seriously think I'm that much of an idiot?
I'm not trying to do anything wrong here. I finally figured out who's the most important person to me. And that person is only you, Carrie. So please don't throw me away now. I promise that I'll never cheat on you again.
You threw me away first, Nate, so you should have just stayed away from me and never came back. Are you kidding me trying to use memory loss from an accident as your excuse? I'm not going to ever trust someone again who uses that as their excuse for everything. There is no more wanting to marry you left in me anymore, so just go back to your stripper or something, you jerk. From there, Nate went back to his parents' house and apologized to the both of them. Of course, neither of them were going to forgive him and took him to his bank where he transferred all of that $30,000 into their bank account. They were able to get that much from him to start at least. And that remaining $20,000 will have to be paid off to them starting now, and that's what the plan is. But due to the cost of the rent on that new place he has, he will never be able to make enough to cover both every month. And following him taking a whole month off work unannounced, the company let him come back to work, but only for one day where they told him to never come back again. And so, as for now, he no longer has himself a job. And since he hasn't lived in that new place a whole year yet, like the contract stated, he's going to have to pay a fine. So, since he has no way of moving out of that new place, he's only left with having to find a way to pay that rent every month. He was able to find himself a job working in a steel factory, but the work is tough on him, and he doesn't make enough yet to cover all his bases. I think it's a great thing to see that he's going to be living in hell for a very long time, and I hope he serves his time well there. When I first realized that my fiancé was never going to show up to the courthouse to marry me, I thought my life was over. But from there, I was able to learn about the person he really was, and that began to make those feelings of sadness and loneliness turn into feelings of anger and vengeance. I thought those negative feelings would eat me alive, but I was lucky to have my family there, as well as his family and friends, to support me in making the appropriate choices. I'm not 100% confident that I'm okay with all that's happened yet, but I will say that I'm really glad I never married him. And I'm sure the rest of my feelings will fade over time. I'm sure that by the time I'm a lot older and wiser, I'll look back on all of this and laugh about how stupid and terrible of a man Nate really was to me. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.